Welcome, you're watching Personal Finance. I'm Demisha Greater. When it comes to payday, everyone has their own expenses to deal with. Black tax. This is a unique expense some South Africans may know better than others. To tell us more about this concept, I'm joined by Clement Nhlangwana, the Marketing Manager for Growth Markets at Sanlam Personal Finance. Clement, thanks for your time. Black tax, that's not one that I have heard of, although I possibly may know what it is. Yes. Just tell us, what are the nuances of black tax?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I think black tax simply is the lived experience for most black people, where your salary doesn't really take care of you and your immediate family, but it goes to take care of the extended families. So it is, you know, your parents, your siblings, the aunts. So it is that kind of extension to how much your money is being spent.
Why do they attach it to black people? Is it just a black phenomenon? Is that why they call it black tax?
Not really. I think most people across races do that, but I think there's a cultural aspect to it. Because if you look at the families, especially in the black families, they tend to be much larger than the other races. And also, I think the Ubuntu thing, where you part of a wider family, so it is expected of you not only to take care of yourself, but to take care of the extended families and people within your communities who are not even your relatives.
So what are the implications of this? Because my salary now is not just for me. I must make sure that this also is able to benefit my extended family too.
Yeah, I think if you look at how it pans out, because it normally happens, you go to university, you study, you start working, you need to help your parents. You know, you extend the house, you buy furniture for the parents, you do a few things at home, but then your siblings, you need to help them with school fees. Then you've got your niece, you've got your nephews who phone you and ask for money. So what normally happens is that if you don't think it through on how you spend the money, it can become problematic, because you're not able to take care of yourself first, and then you're struggling to take care of everyone else.
What are some of the examples? Are we finding that people who have this burden, but you may say that it is a spirit of Ubuntu, may be finding themselves in debt?
Yes, what we normally find is that because it's not something that people ask, especially with family members, where they'll come and say, if you look at the parents, build me a house, it is expected for you to do. So the first part is that you'll be doing things, and then if you don't look at it, then you go and take credit to be able to assist. Then the next thing, you're totally unable to take care of your finances. I mean, a good example, I had a chat with a friend of mine who's an engineer. I mean, he's doing extremely well, and he's was telling me that he's taking care of his 4 siblings who are all at universities. He's taking care of his 2 parents, and he's got 2 nieces that he's assisting, and he's struggling. And the bigger problem is the emotional part, where he can't say no, and then he seems to be going out of his way to try and assist, and he goes and get into debt to be able to assist. So it can be very problematic, but also the other part of it is the pride in being able to assist your family and the family members. So there is a good part of it, because what also happens, and I think that what I like about the black tax, is that you cut the poverty cycle. Because if you take care of your siblings and you take care of people around you, later on in life they won't have to come back to ask for money. So it is also a way of wealth creation that black people specifically have devised to assist themselves.
Clement, what do I do if I find myself in this situation where I'm earning a certain amount of money? I really do want to help, but I am really battling. Is there, are there avenues available out there for me to get assistance from?
Yeah, I think the first point of call will be, make sure that you've got a financial advisor, where you go through your salary and make sure that you know exactly what you can afford, and also to space things out. You don't have to do everything at the same time. So when you sit with your financial advisor, be open. I think one of the problems is that we're not open with our financial advisors, that over and above the expenses that you share with your financial advisors, that there is this black tax. So it's never factored into putting together your finances, and it becomes a problem. So be open with the financial advisor to say, there's this thing that I'm doing, how do we go about doing it? And also is just make sure that some of them are medium term to long term. Don't try and do everything at the same time, but contact your financial advisor.
I'm sure apart from being honest with your financial advisor, you also need to be honest with your family.
Yeah, exactly. I think you probably know, especially with young professionals. You the only one to have had a degree, and you're doing very well. You're staying in Joburg. You've got a car. You've got a house. When you go home and you rock up in that expensive car,
yes,
people assume that you've got a lot of money. They don't realize that actually it's a lot of debt. So it's to be frank with family members and assist them with financial planning. I think the other thing that I'll recommend to people is that when your families and family members and relatives have financial problems, also bring in your financial advisor to assist them, so it becomes a much more wider thing. It becomes a family thing than just you having a financial advisor assisting you and they are not being assisted.
What products are there out there that are responding to this need?
I think a good one is, you probably will have seen some of the funeral covers, which allows you to cover up to 18 members of the family.
Okay.
So I think that's a good response.
That's a good spot. That's a good starting point there.
Exactly, because funerals, they can happen anytime, and sometimes they happen, you don't really have many. So it is important that you take something like that and then you cover the wider family members. So if something happens, you know that you can get money. Most of the funeral covers will pay within 48 hours, so you will have money to assist. There's a new product that was launched recently, the tax-free savings. Sanlam has a product, and I think the wider market has that product. It's a good product to invest in, but you can speak to your financial advisor because people's circumstances are different.
Are we seeing more and more people going towards financial advisors and asking help for this, or they're just too proud? You did mention that it's also a pride thing. So we're seeing more people more open to saying, listen, I'm in this situation, you have to come and help me here.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a lot more people, going to brokers and advisors. And the reason being, we never taught finances. You can be an engineer and a lawyer and an accountant, but really taking care of finance is a specialized field. So most people are going to financial advisors for them to assist them, because there's the two things. One is that you've got a number of products in the market. You have no idea which one is good for you. You've got a good number of companies. You don't know which one is for you. So having a financial advisor helps you with that process of selecting the right product for your own specific needs.
Clement, you mentioned that you have done a study. At the beginning, we spoke about the spirit of Ubuntu,
Yes.
and then there's also the other side of we've invested in you, so we're expecting something back.
Yeah.
Talk to us about the differences in the different regions, how different people within South Africa view black tax.
Yeah, and it's quite an interesting thing. We at Sanlam, we've just done a study. It was not necessarily on black tax, it was the attitude towards saving in general. And we did here in Johannesburg, we did one in East London and KZN. What was quite interesting is that the mention of black tax, with a number of participants to say this is becoming, it is something that we're doing. And what was quite interesting is that the guys in East London and KZN actually had a negative attitude towards the tag, black tax, because they don't see it as a tax. They see it as something that they have to do, and they're proud of doing, of assisting, their parents, their family members. So they were not keen on the tag, black tax, but they were all saying it didn't start with them. It actually started way before them. Their parents were assisting, and they're also assisting. The guys in Joburg, no issue. You call it black tax,
call it what you want.
Call it what you want. It is something that we're doing. It's something that we're experiencing as black people, and I think as wider communities in South Africa.
Has there been empirical evidence or studies that have shown that once you do have somebody that is helping one person who's earning a salary, supporting the rest of the family, that they're all better off at the end of the day?
I haven't seen any empirical study, but I know that it was a study done on the spending patterns of black people versus other races, and one thing that came out strongly was the fact that we tend to spend a lot more money on extended families. So that portion, we didn't see it coming strongly on the other races. But I don't know of any empirical study done on this subject specifically.
On that note, Clement, let's recap the key takeaways from this discussion. Clement, key takeaways here.
I think the key takeaways is that make sure that your salary can take care of you and can take care of extended families, but work within your means. Be frank with family members, be frank with financial advisors to say, these are all the expenses that I have, include black tax in it, so that they can advise you properly. And make sure that you don't try and do everything at the same time. Try and space it out. You know, you might not be able to assist your parents with the house now, but you could do it in the medium term. But I think the biggest advice I can give is speak to somebody who really understands this, and the financial advisor is probably the first point of call.
And there are products out there.
And there are absolutely products out there that assist you, that can cover wider families, so you don't have to struggle alone.
So you've got funeral cover, you've got tax-free savings accounts, you've got unit trusts. So
exactly. I mean, you can go to any bank or any financial services company that will be assisting you. But there are a lot of investments and savings product that can assist you to take care of you if something happens.
And you don't really need a lot of money to start off with, though.
No. I mean, some of the products, they start as little as 200 Rand. The tax-free savings, a good example where, you know, you're getting the benefit of it being tax-free, and can start as little as 200 Rand. And I think start early. Probably the biggest advice, especially with young people getting into the labor market, starting to work, starting to earn a salary. Start saving early is good, because you start benefiting from compound interest, and then
Clement, thank you so much for educating us on this, and now we know to be open. There are avenues that are available out there for us. That's a very big thank you to Clement Nhlangwana. He's the marketing manager for growth markets at Sanlam Personal Finance. Remember that we would really love to hear from you. You can tweet us any comments to @CNBC Africa. You can use the hashtag finance410, or you can follow Google to Cele, that is @Gugu Mfupi. That's it for this edition of Personal Finance. Have a great day.